everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Dungeons and Destinies. Before I continue, I'd like to ask all of my players to say hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. We're so scared. Oh.
Alrighty! I have a couple disclaimers before we begin. Firstly, secondly,
Okay.
In tonight's episode is made by the wonderful Michael Gelfi. Check him out on YouTube and Spotify. That's MICHAELGHELFI. Along with his partner Philip Melvin. They're great composers and do some pretty fantastic and epic stuff. Also, they have a website now that you can pay for.
They have a website? Let's go.
Like, you can stream all of their ambiance and music live. So that's cool. I just found out about that today, so if you want to give that a shot, go ahead for your Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. Next, all the character art you see on screen is made by the wonderful Alice, the player from Magnus. Chances are you're checking out this from either of her channels, either Twitch or YouTube, so make sure to give those a follow because she's hilarious and really good at what she does. Also, all the maps and tables you see on screen are made by me, using free assets such as FA Mapmaking. FA Mapmaking stands for Forgotten Adventures Mapmaking. They're great, they have a ton of free assets for making tabletop roleplay maps, so check them out and pay them money. Lastly, we do have a TikTok. Check out Dungeon and Destinies, that's DUNGEONANDDESTINIES, and give us a follow. Now, would anyone else like to say anything before we begin tonight's episode?
I miss my wife, Tails.
I miss my wife, bitch. Thanks, Cole.
Well then. Alright. So, welcome back to the division-ruled world of Aracrucia. Last we left off, our players had been magically transported into a cave. And in that cave was Silas, the main man they were trying to defeat, along with a cage with Daenerys' mother, Aether Dorathea, and a cage of a small little girl. Her name was Lorraine. Silas then basically told them there was two ways this is going to go. Either they engage in a fight and they all die, or most of them die, and he would leave one alive to fester and live in the sadness that, you know, had caused this. Or he would go ahead and they would play the rest of his game out. And if they did so, he might let them live, he might not. It really didn't matter. Magnus used his ingenuity and trickery to create a duplicate of himself, magically, to approach the cage with Lorraine in it, only to find out that it had been magically trapped and speared him for a lot of damage. Silas then began to try and aggravate the rest of the Band of the Wild Storm so as to make them make a mistake in the game he was wanting to be played, whether that was like a battle of wits or just a battle of talking, still not very sure, as Magnus then teleported into the cage, grabbed Lorraine, teleported out, and Daenerys said, "Hey Silas, game this," and then mooned him. And what that means is she conjured two elementals and a fight broke out. As the fight drew on, it was very clear that if they were to continue battling this way, Silas had some tricks up his sleeve, and they were woefully unprepared and unequipped for what was going to happen. Through the fight, Silas made jeers and jabs and jaunts, proving that he knew each one of them intimately. And he stated a very simple fact. The reason why the Band of the Wild Storm had never lost a fight thus far, although coming close, was because the cleric and the druid, Rue and Daenerys, were never really attacked. And so he went out of his way to do so, and in doing so, the Band of the Wildstorm quickly fell to their knees. He then went out of his way to do something else. And upon realizing that he had made Daenerys and Rue fall unconscious, he very swiftly carried out the rest of the job and killed them fully, making sure that they wouldn't be able to get back up and be a hassle that they had always been in the previous other fights. Upon doing this, Magnus sent a message to Aether, and Aether, albeit not to any of their knowledge, the Band of the Wildstorm's knowledge, that is, went ahead and used her own magical powers to bind her soul to Silas's and banish them both to a different plane of existence. Unfortunately, Daenerys was unconscious at the time where she said her last words to her, and those words may never be heard out. We left off when Silas was banished. Bo took the last gift that Aether Dorathian ever left them, which was a way out, a way of escape, through a large mushroom door, or a door in a large mushroom, druidically, to some unknown place. Magnus, upon realizing that two of the Band of the Wildstorm were dead at his feet, decided to stay there, and chose to instead trap them, the three of them, into the spell Tiny Hut, which made it basically impossible for anyone to keep attacking them. Bo, understanding that his life and Lorraine's life were on the line, steps through the door, and it closed behind him. That is where we left off. So, Daenerys. As you feel the cold, dense metal of Silas's blade enter your chest, your mind races. The first thoughts are of panic, worry, desperation. As you try to cling onto any idea, any spell, anything that could stop this moment from happening. They all fall through your hands, as your eyes, once focused on the battlefield around you, now grow distant as you stare up into the ceiling. No longer illuminated by a magical sun, now the cold darkness above seems almost warm and welcoming. The sounds of the creatures and Silas's jaunts and your band of heroes fade. You are falling. Things rush by you in this empty black abyss that now surrounds you. Just enough to give color and light around you as well. They race by you, illuminating you in all possible colors only for the briefest of moments. Until, in one quick and efficient movement, a long, iridescent whip cracks through them, seemingly absorbing the multitude of colors into it. The sound ringing in your ears, you notice that the blackness around you has faded, and that the colors, once whizzing by you, have now found their place. The whip now moves methodically, coiling around itself much like, and that's when you see it, the head of a serpent. Its mouth open wide, as venom pours down its fangs. Its eyes lock with yours, its pupils slender. You can tell with this gaze that it gives you that any moment, any movement, any mistake or show of hesitancy will be your last. Nourish Dorathian. The voice cuts through the trance the serpent has on you, and all at once you see what is truly before you. Gotta do this, hang on. Surrounding you are colors of all imaginable kind. Drinking in the sight, you see the sheer amount of life before you, thick and dense. Foliage surrounds you in a clearing. Trees that grow taller than any you've ever seen before encircle you. Vines hang down from their branches like rain falling from the sky, and on each there sprouts a different kind of flower. The chatter of 1,000 different animals and bugs ring through the air like a gentle, harmonious melody. Beneath you lies a stone floor, not carved out of brutalistic tools and effort, but from what seems to be thousands upon thousands of years of weathering from air and water. The shapes never seem to break the pattern that moves in an endless, cyclical flow. Sitting in front of you is a creature the likes you've only ever seen in storybooks and ancient tablets back home. As you meet the 6 separate eyes of the Chimera, the lion's head bears down upon you. Its eyes deep, an endless well of knowledge and wisdom. You follow the lion's head down to its mane, shining and glistening in the sun above. Following it back up to the head it shares with its shoulders, you see that the goat has its head turned away from you, its rectangular pupil wide and locked on you in what seems to be fear. You can't help but to think that it might be instinctual. You are an eagle, after all. The serpent whips its body back around the Chimera, acting as the tail of the creature. Its long, uncanny body coils. The colors once swiped through now radiate off of it, ready at any moment to strike. Once again, you hear your name. Daenerys Rathian. As the words speak to you, reach you, you watch as the lion gives a slight nod of the head and sits, expecting a response.
And Daenerys will give a illustrious bow to her entire body.
As you do so, you hear the soft of the serpent as it backs away a little bit. Would you like to say anything?
That's something I should refer to you as.
You watch as the lion sits on its back haunches, the eagle talons of the Chimera almost perching itself up to make it seem grander in stature and in form. I am the spirit of all that is living. I am the bearer of nature and the watcher of life. You may call me what you wish.
Very I'm more than honored to be in your presence. Remember how I got here. Just your grandeur. And she just stands in awe.
as you stand in awe, you watch as the chimera kind of looks at you, then looks past you over your shoulder. Daenerys Strathian, friend and fae, do you know why I have brought you here?
Because I follow.
Yes, but more than that. You are perhaps the last bastion, true wild, I have in the world.
Me.
Yes. At one point in time, it was your family. A most fascinating creation. I had my own hands in it, along with the rest of the fae that inhabit the world itself.
But my remaining family, and not matrons of
They were, for a time. And yet it seems that both your mother and father have fallen victim to the way of the dark. Your brother is conflicted, Daenerys.
see. So my brother knows.
No, he does not know, gentle bird. But should he be pushed harder along the path of darkness, he will learn.
You think that Paris would believe our divination?
I think not on the actions of the creatures and lives I oversee, only what effects they might have.
And Daenerys is gonna sit in the grass, cross-legged, across from the Chimera.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
16.
16. Looking around you, there is what seems to be almost this steady heartbeat, this thrum of life, this pulse that comes off of the chimera. Every time it lets out a breath, you watch as the life, the grass underneath you, the trees, the flowers, swell almost with joy. You can tell that this being, this creature, is what gives not just life, but the connection between life itself.
As Daenerys is sitting there, she's gonna take off her cloak and hold her pendant and look at it. My family, we've held you as our patron for many centuries. I don't know a time before the stories of the Chimera, of your holiness, of your beauty. We would always talk about the beauty of before the war, for you were no longer in our plane.
You watch as the goat's head kind of relaxes for a little bit. I have never left the plane, Daenerys. I am within all of you. You call me holy, and perhaps it is my fault. I created your forefather, right here where you sit. I gave him his mission in the world. I am not to be revered. I am not to be worshipped. I am to be treasured and kept well.
I've done my best to preserve that message, as much as my family skewed it in the ways of worship.
And that is what I've brought you here to discuss. You see, gentle bird. And you watch as, all at once, it gets up. And you can tell this creature, although beautiful looking, is old. The way it moves is old, the way it walks is old, the way it breathes is heavy and burdened, as though it's been around for a very long time, and it might soon not be. You see, gentle bird, with what is happening in your world, with the core of the unseelie, with the court of the Seelie, the creatures of mystical origin you call Fae, the stoppage of druidic magics within the many countries of the world, and the pursuit of all that God life. It is with a heavy heart, I tell you. I may no longer be. For the creatures you have fought, the ones you know about, they seek to destroy me.
You're destroyed. The world goes out of balance.
Yes, well, there will always be balance. Balance will be found. Perhaps if I am not here, another one will appear. However, I would be lying if I said that in my old age, I was not afraid of death. And you are. Sorry, go ahead.
The one thing that brings all life together, the fear of death.
Yes. You watch as he begins pacing, and almost like a facade, you watch as the serpent's head locks on you almost gyroscopically, and the rest of his form begins to fade a little bit as you hear,
"Those that seek to destroy us seem to be more powerful than we think."
Sorry, I didn't quite get it.
it says,
"Those that seek to destroy us seem to be more powerful than we thought."
Are they working with the one that killed me?
Perhaps. But now is not the time to plot and plunder. It is time to strike.
How? how shall we strike?
The snake's head, the serpent's head, whips around to the other side of the chimera, and you watch as the lion kind of snarls at it for a second. Daenerys, you are one of my most proud prodigies. The creatures you see before you are those that I have cherished in the making of. The serpent, a noble yet deadly figure. The lion, bold and proud. The goat, well, I thought that one was just rather silly. But I have the feet of an eagle. Not from the bird, the lesser kind, but from you and your forefathers.
And Daenerys will like look at her feet, kind of like a kid that's like spread her toes.
Daenerys, I seek to give you one more chance at life. However, you must carry the message of what I am with you. I wish to make you a grove tender.
A grove tender. Me.
Yes.
Daenerys is like stands up like super excited. She's like, what does this entail?
Another title? Oh boy! You watch as the goat kind of chuffs. Well, grove tenders, they have the most important duties, such as taking care of life and making sure it's protected.
Oh, yes. How am I to preserve life in a world that wants to end it all?
The snake whips around. The serpent. Keep calling it the snake. The serpent whips around and coils.
By striking.
See. And what of people around me?
Which people do you speak of, Daenerys?
Those I have traveled with, those who I've held so dearly for such time. Those who I never realized how much they meant to me until at the verge of death. I stared death in the eyes. My party, my mother, and my family.
You watch
I
as
take this for all this effect.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I take this for all. Will I lose them?
You watch as the lion's head grows sad for a moment. Yes, in time. As a grove tender, you will be protected from unnatural demise. once your time comes, Daenerys, I will have you here, along with the others. And you will live here with me, in the plane you call the Feywild. However, that is not to say you will not die. An age you would not have reached naturally.
Protected from natural death. Does that include murder?
As I stated before, I do not ponder on the actions of those who are a part of me. I only witness the effects.
Oops.
Murder is included in the term of natural death. Others who seek to kill you are not something I can prevent. However, things of magical nature, things that would make you age more rapidly than you should, or tell you to drop dead, things that would circumvent your life, will be nullified.
Leaving her coat behind and taking several steps closer to the chimera, she says, "It be nothing but the highest honor to serve you, great chimera." I accept your offer.
Very well. Daenerys Dorathian, Princess of the Floating Isle, you are now, and forever will be, a grove tender. And at that, you feel this surge of energy, this almost unending wellspring of magic up through your feet, as though roots are growing into you, and up further still, to the palms of your hands, to your chest, and as you extend your wings, to the tips of your feathers. Know this, gentle bird. Should you perish in battle one more time, there will be not one more way to get back. Your soul is bound to me now. And no matter what any of your loved ones may choose, should you fall, you will not go back.
Understood. It's a sacrifice that must be made.
Now, remind me. It's been quite a while since I set your family into the world. Are you still as curious as when I founded you?
Oh, always searching for more. Always wanting more knowledge, and I will read every book I find and pique the interest of every wizard and noble and scholar I come across. In fact, I've I talked to my mother for a very long time about all the things that she's learned in her life. From the sounds of it, she's no longer serving her druidic divination.
He serves, and has always served, a druidic path that she has created, as you all have. This is the only time I have stepped in since the creation of your family. That being said, have you any questions for me before I send you back?
Before I was murdered, the man that murdered me told me that my father's still alive. What do you know?
You watch as it sits back for a moment. It sits back down, lies down, and almost this pondering, puzzled look comes across all three faces. And the three of them close their eyes and focus their breathing, and in one gentle you feel almost this strike of a chord go through every living thing around you, including yourself. For a long time, the lion sits there. The goat closes its eyes, and the serpent, while still moving and coiling, does not change direction or look at you with those fierce, cold eyes. Oh, yes. It seems your mother and father, both alive. Your father is in a plane of existence under your own, the one of which the Unseelie Court belongs. It seems he's strayed far from his path.
Unfortunate to hear. But it brings me comfort to know he's still alive.
He may no longer be the man you remember him to be, gentle bird.
I see. This moment I must know before embarking on my journey. Where shall I focus my energy in order to preserve the integrity of life?
The lion thinks for a long while on this too.
It would seem the greatest place for you to focus is in several different locations around the world. However, The largest one you may feel does belong in the empire you call Lenarol. Where that is, I cannot say. For life itself seems to be choked out upon the borders, preventing my domain from being able to access it.
Oh. That is the purpose of these rituals. This person that killed me brings along these creatures of darkness. They destroy life.
Yes. Perhaps this will become the natural order in time. But let us hope that life, and that I shall carry on. And at that, once again, you watch this paradise melt away. Rue.
Hi.
I know the music's already playing, you dumb piece of shit. Pause.
Oh my god. My heart is going like 18 million miles an hour.
Rue.
Yo.
Hit this button again. The cool air of your home fills you with a once lost sense of nostalgia and comfort. Here in this room, in the arms of your mother, you begin to remember everything. Every painful moment inside the cave, every amazing moment you spent with your wild storm. It doesn't hurt. And for the first time, you realize you can truly recall every moment of your life without pain. Your mother grabs your hands as she says, "Welcome home. You have to tell me all about your adventure."
There's so much. And I'm like crying as like she's kind of like realizing that she can recall everything that's going on. There's so much that I want to tell you. I don't even know where to start.
Well, start from the beginning then. And while you do, would you mind if we took a walk?
Yes. What do I see around me? Can you describe like kind of where I'm at?
Currently you are in the dining room where in the house you grew up in. There's a perfectly sculpted wood table that has been made out of like an old tree stump that fell down in the forest, and it's been, you know, crafted with vines, and what surrounds you are different depictions of your god, moons that glow, stars that highlight the sky. Even though you're inside, you can still see the effect of the fact that you are a dusk elf, made to be alive and awake at night and have your best moments from dawn to dusk.
Yes, I would love a walk. I, uh, this, I'm so happy to see you.
Your mother smiles, and your sister kind of gives a big grin as she continues eating her bowl of probably soup. Happy you're finally home. It's been quite a long time. Although, a lot longer than we both thought it would be.
I'm sorry to have made you wait. Truth be told, I didn't even know it was that long until somewhat recently.
Really?
I didn't mean to keep you for that long.
Oh, it's quite alright. We've had a lot of time to talk and reflect and, you know, live. And as you begin talking, your mother guides you out of the house. And as you step out, Rue, what does the Shadevale Valley look like to you?
Oh, dude, okay. The Shadeville Valley is a very, obviously it's a shaded kind of safe haven that is sheltered underneath a canopy of trees that cast a dark green to almost purplish hue on the rest of on the ground and on all the belongings around it. Hung from the trees, there are stars and moons and little suns that glitter and around. There is a center, just like a square center, that just has, it's kind of the collection of all the different huts where everybody kind of congregates. Yeah.
The trees overhead give you the permanent dusk that you thrive in. The sunlight above you filters through the many ornaments, the moon, and the stars, and the sun. And as you gaze at the trees, you can't help but reminisce about the time you spent here. The first 120 years of your life were spent growing up within these walls of trees and foliage. Creatures of all kinds would come through, seeking aid and help, or just seeking a place to stay for the night. And no matter what these creatures were, you and your mother always found that helping them was the greatest form of compassion and happiness you could achieve. Reflecting back to the night that you heard your mother and sister talking, discussing, almost arguing about telling you if you were Loth's chosen, you realize it never really hurt to hear. You'd always known. You always felt that presence. And even now you feel the presence of her guiding you. And as you walk and tell your story, your tale of adventure and wonder and danger and love, you realize that as you've gathered at the center of the Shadevale Valley. In front of you stands several standing stones. In a circle around him are several flowers picked from the forest. You recognize this as the thing that never was. The ceremony that never got completed. We had a lot of time to finish it, but I think it's about time that you had your coming of age. Don't you?
That is so sweet of everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't help anyone while I was there. If I had known, maybe it could have turned out different. All of it.
You don't need to apologize, Alhart. My Rue. All you need to do is be happy that you're finally back. And looking into the center of the stone circle, your mother says, "Now, Rue, Alhart, when it comes to times like this, everyone is given a choice. Do you know what that choice is?"
No, it feels like it's been so long since I've known about any of this. I'm sorry I can't remember.
Oh, no, I don't mean this. I don't mean the coming of age. Everyone has a choice to stay in the world you've just departed from, or to leave. And that choice can only be made by you.
Oh. That's such a difficult choice.
Yes. Many find it to be. But evaluate it. Look at it like, what have you here, and what have you there?
Well, here, I have all of you, the memories of home, the unguarded memories of home, with no pain. But there I have family, a new family that I've grown to cherish and to love, and they're all my own. But it's hard. We've gone so over our heads, and I want to help them, I do, but I miss feeling this carefree. What would you do?
Well, as I'm sure you can tell, I've already made my choice.
Would it be shameful of me? I have such a large responsibility.
No, there's never any shame in this. There's never any shame in something like this. these things are natural, as the seasons, and are as natural as the tide. Many people choose to stay. They have things they still need to do and hopes they have yet to see. However, many people realize that this, she kind of gestures around her, is the end of the road. And that unless some miracle happens, there may no be getting back here, should they choose to leave.
Would you be angry at me if I went back? I don't want to forget any of you again. I'm so tired of not remembering. But I don't think I can leave them behind. Not yet.
Your mother looks down, and you watch as a tear kind of rolls down her cheek, and she says, I would never be angry at you for showing compassion, Alha. And if it takes another 3 millennia, we'll have everything waiting for you.
Okay. If I forget you again, if I forget your faces, don't... I guess it's comforting to know that if I come back here, it'll all still be here.
You are capable of great things, and I've always known that. Don't say if, Alha, or it will be when you return. But until that time, go fetch that boy you were telling me about. All right.
Okay. Okay. I can't wait to come back and tell you how this story ends.
I can't wait to hear it. And as she says that, you look behind you and you see a clearing, a pathway through the trees, and in it, the Band of the Wild Storm stands beckoning.
I'm going to walk towards it, kind of steadily at first.
Okay. Alhart Ruesh of the Shadevale Valley. Priestess of Lolth, champion, matron of Livlicker, cleric, friend, and family to the Band of the Wildstorm. You've chosen not to accept the end of your journey, and to stay in a world that has caused you so much strife and anguish and pain, yet brought you unparalleled amounts of happiness and joy. Zoe, would you please leave the table?
As you step through the mushroom,
Sure.
that is the weirdest sentence I think I've ever said.
Boy, step through a mushroom.
As the cowboy steps through the mushroom, holding a baby,
Greatest joke of all time.
Toddler.
holding a toddler. You pop out the other side in what seems to be the biggest room made of wood you've ever seen. Underneath you is carved wood. Surrounding you is carved wood. There is a large, massive, actually, spiral staircase that winds up and up and up and up and up and up until it's not but a dot in the sky. There are many, many windows, large enough for 3 whole people to fit through. And as you look out the distance, you see islands surrounded by clouds. And what look to be large winged creatures flying and gliding from place to place.
Lorea is still on my shoulders, right?
Lorrea is on the same.
Hey, kiddo. You want to get off my back?
Lorrea is like a vice grip on you right now. She's terrified.
It's okay. I'm right here, and I just kind of give her like a little pat on her head.
She doesn't move.
Can you say something to me? You could. Okay, here. You don't have to bury your face in my shoulder. You can lift your head up.
I'm scared.
I'm scared too. It's nice to finally meet you, though. You know, I can't look you in the eye because you're on my back.
You're really warm.
I am really warm, yeah. Where do you want to be right now, little one?
You don't really hear a response.
Okay. Do you remember the bird lady? The bird lady that we saw in the cave?
She nods. So at this point, she's probably like climbed down and is now standing next to you.
I'm probably like holding her hand in my left arm.
Okay.
I'm gonna kneel. So, a very special person told me to come find you. And they told me to take care of you. Their best pal.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I've been looking for you for quite some time, little miss.
I've never had a pal.
Yeah? I'll be your buddy. Always. And he holds out his hand and says, "My name's Bo."
She kind of puts her hands together and does the toddler thing where they kind of like swing their body. And she's like, I'm Leia.
I know. You've got a real pretty name. No. I think we're gonna be in some trouble.
As you say that, you hear as the clacking of talons on wood surrounds you,
Bo is holding up his left arm, like.
The one hand. One hand. Watch this. No hands.
In almost a flash, you see 3 Aarakocrans that are a head and a half taller than the 2 you've ever known. These male Aarakocrans are just under your height and are wearing full, what seem to be almost metal armor, but it's not. It's not metal. It's shiny, but you're not sure what it is. And they have spears pointed directly at you.
Okay. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be
Who
here.
are you? How did you get in here?
My name is Bo Ironbelt. I am one of the guardians of Lady Daenerys Baratheon on her expedition in Glenarol.
So saying that, you watch as one of the guards kind of hesitates for a second, but the other 2 like force forward and point the spears at your chest. Say, how do you know that name? How did you get in here? We sensed unauthorized druidic magic entering the Great Tree.
I understand that, sir. I was transported here by a friend. I was just trying to get me and my daughter and I to safety.
Again, you watch as the third kind of wavers a little bit. And one of the other 2 looks at them and goes, "Oh, what are you doing?" What if he's telling the truth?
I mean you no harm in any way possible. I was just trying to get somewhere safe.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
17.
Okay. You watch as the other 2 guards kind of like lower their spears a little bit. And at that, 5 more guards rush in. These are all air genasi, like you saw at the Earth and Wind. These are all wearing actual metal armor. And immediately one of the 3 Aarakocrans says, "You were being placed under the highest form of arrest for infiltrating the Great Tree and using falsified druidic magics. We will hear your story in front of the council."
And please also have some contact with Varys Baratheon. And if you don't grant me that, can she just be with me? He looks down at Gloria.
They kind of look at each other.
I just want to keep her safe.
And they look like they're about to say yes, but one of the air genasi steps in and says, "I will take care of her for you."
Can she be near me, please? Even if it's just in another cell. I don't want to lose her again.
Yes. Varys Baratheon. I must let you know, we must investigate how you know this name. Should we find that your stories correlate properly, you will be able to see Varys in prison.
I have a journal. Fuck, what has Daenerys given me that I can use as evidence?
I'm sorry, Paul. I'm looking at my inventory.
Oh, take your time.
I also have an Aarakocra cookbook.
You begin to think about the items you have in your inventory. The two Aarakocrans step towards you. One grabs you by your arm, the other grabs you by your shoulder, and they force you forward as the Air Genasi scoops up Larea. Hello, little one. And you are forcibly escorted out of the premises.
Keeping his arm off the entire time.
Okay. Magnus.
Fuck! Damn it. No, please. I'll go a little bit longer. Come on. I want to know more about that.
You sit in your tiny hut with creatures pounding on the walls. After about an hour and a half, they give up. They sit there with hunger in their eyes as they wait. As the first 8 hours pass, no help comes. Please expend a second slot if you want to keep Tiny Hut up.
I will do so.
What was that?
I will do so.
Another 8 hours passes as the creatures begin to paw and gnaw and move and try anything they can. Try and break through your spell.
What kind of creatures are these?
These are the creatures you fought in Cobalt.
Okay.
Big, gray, ugly, and dumb. As they throw themselves into the hut itself, over and over again, rocking it, you watch as Alhart Ruesh's crystal from the Earth and Wind rolls out of her bag. You hear the clinking of Daenerys Dorathian's potion bottles as her book falls out of her satchel and comes to life once more. It doesn't fly around, but instead nestles against her. Almost saddened by her disappearance. All the while, you sit. 2 corpses with you, and 6 or more creatures outside. At this point, you've been awake for about 27 hours. Magnus, please take a poison of exhaustion.
How do I do that?
Go into your character sheet, then go to the thing. What's it?
It's in conditions. It's at the bottom of
Conditions.
I don't. Oh, I see it. Okay. Okay. So 1 point of exhaustion.
At hour 31 of you being awake, and at the third use of Tiny Hut, you begin to feel mentally drained. Your eyes grow heavy. It's hard to stay awake. It's at that moment that you watch as the several creatures, taking shifts and sleeping in them, waiting for you to waver. You watch creeping shadows come over them.
their throats being slit one after another, after another. And in the dark light that you can see, the pale red that illuminates everything around you, you watch as Greaves' face shows. Magnus?
I'm gonna stare at him for a second and just kind of like tilt my head, like trying to deter whether or not this is like an illusion or something.
Okay. Roll a perception or investigation check. Actually, just perception.
That sucks. Oh no. 5.
You can't tell.
Magnus, is that you? Where are the others? Where's Loraya? It was a simple job. What happened?
With the simple job, I think he would drop it.
Drop Tiny Hut?
Yeah, I think he would drop Tiny Hut.
Okay.
I think that in the moments of, I guess, waiting, he would have wrapped both Rue and Daenerys in whatever fabrics he has, whether they be like cloaks or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have placed them in his bag of holding to keep their bodies safe.
Okay.
And somewhat preserved to the best of his knowledge. He would also check on other things to make sure that other things are not... Hang on.
Feeling Rue's breasts. And
No!
Daenerys has a cloaca.
No! Why do you have to make me a creep? Not a creep. Hang on, I gotta...
Yeah, it's still there.
No, but like, how is it?
Fine.
Okay.
Hasn't changed much.
Okay. I'm just making sure that it's not, gonna damage anything. I will place them, putting Rue's Earth and Wind Crystal back in her bag, and then putting Daenerys' book away after, like, I guess, petting the spine and condolences. How do you comfort a book?
You read it, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, well, I will put away the book if I can. If not, I guess it's just gonna vibe. I'm gonna put them away.
Okay.
And Grief said what? I'm sorry?
What the hell happened? Where are the others? Where's Loraya? It was a simple job. What the fuck?
What the fuck, bro? Loraya is safe. Where, I don't know. But she is safe. And at this point, he has like 1,000-yard stare.
Okay.
What do you mean? You don't know where? Where's Bo? Where's the bird and the blue elf?
Rue and Daenerys are dead. Bo is keeping Loraya safe at the moment, and I do not know where they are. As for what happened, the syndicate happened. Silas, their leader, successfully killed half of us. Lothric tried to kill us and left. And here I stand.
Back here.
And you watch as he kind of like just zones out for a second, and you hear one of the other thieves with him go, Your Highness, we gotta get cracking if we're gonna beat them again. Our patrol's gonna start in a couple hours. We gotta go. He kind of snaps out of it. Right. 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 And you watch as he kind of like looks at you in your eyes and he goes, I'll get you out of here.
I'll
Don't expect any more help.
I'll give him a nod. That's fine with me.
Greaves begins to lead you out of the dungeon. Is there anything else you want to say?
Not in the current moment.
Okay.
But at any point in which we depart from each other, I will stop him before he leaves.
So, roll a stealth check for me.
Ooh. $17.
What was it?
17?
You follow Ingrave's footsteps and manage to exit out of the cave. It all becomes kind of a blur. You don't really remember the steps and the places you go and the turns you take as your mind focuses on your party and where you are. The ever-present knowledge that your band of the Wildstorm is now broken, scattered to the four winds and to the nine hells. You come to, and you are standing about 9 blocks away from the Emberhide Tower. You watch as Greaves dons a mask and goes to leave. What would you like to say to him as he does?
I will grab his arm to stop him. Thank you for getting me out. And I'm sorry that we failed you. But no, I don't even know if you know. Bo is Lurea's biological father. And I know that you care about her in every extent of the word, but know that he will keep her safe as his life depends on it.
Greaves looks at you and shrugs off your hand on his arm. Yeah.
I guess some part of me always knew. Same eyes.
Yeah.
And I do care about her. And if Bo ever comes back here, he'll be a dead man. But as long as he keeps her safe, that's fine by me.
And Greaves is going to walk away.
As he's walking away, if you ever need a distraction, you know who to call. And I will turn on my heel and head to, I guess, the Iron Belt house.
Okay. The two of you, Bo and Magnus, spend the next day and a half in a haze, in worry and thought and planning. Magnus, as you tell Bo's mother about what happened, she shuts herself in and doesn't come out of her room for a day. Bo's brother leaves, seemingly detesting your presence as he did Bo's. Coming back from work every now and then, he just ignores you. Bo, the next day and a half in the Arakokran jail is not what you expected it was. You've been to jail once or twice, and it's always been kind of awful, but the Arathians do a lot better than Lenerol. You have a fully furnished cell, a nice bed, a bathroom with a dividing wall, and even a chair to sit on. They feed you 3 times a day, and it's always edible, although it is Arakokran food. Lorea is brought in from the next room over, at least 3 times a day. And for the next day and a half, the two of you subsist and coast. Magnus, you awaken to the single loudest knock on a door you have ever heard. Followed by 3 words from a voice you know very well.
He's gonna pop up out of bed with a sword in his hand.
Magnus! What in the bloody hell?
And at that you hear,
Dad, no, really, it's fine.
and all at once you hear, as the door starts shaking off the hinges.
Magnus is going to put on his things, because at this point he would have been sleeping in his day clothes. And he would have already packed up with going to leave the next night, so he's just going to gather his things, put on his pack and his bag, and just open the door, and he just has this, like, dead look on his face.
Okay.
Your Highness.
At first, you are met with a literal earth-trembling rage. But as he sees your face, you watch as King Oslo Basilius forces himself to tamp it down. Magnus. Magnus. What? What happened? Where is everyone? The message you sent. By Faison. They're all dead.
Ruins in her, sorry. Lothric, I don't know. Bo should be safe, but I haven't had the chance to check.
Mere boy. And he grabs you by the shoulders, and in the strongest grip you've felt since your father, pulls you into a hug.
Oh! Oh, God! Oh, no! Oh, no! So Magnus is just gonna, like, grit his teeth together as silent tears fall from his face as he, like, continues to try to hold in everything that he's been feeling the past, whatever, 48 hours or so, or 50 now. And his body starts to heat up, like, a lot.
Roll a d20 for me.
2!
Normally you tamp, or you wrestle with letting the emotions reach your Genasi blood. But for the first time in a very, very long time, you can't. And if the rest of the Wildstorm were here to see it, they would recognize something that they've only seen with your father before. As the stone pathway beneath your feet begins to melt from the sheer heat that you're pushing out.
And he's gonna, like, shrug himself out of Oslo's grip and just, like, I'm sorry, and his hands are just shaking and he's, like, trying to wipe away tears.
It's alright. Believe it or not, I've been in Hitler. Let's go get a drink.
Very well. Very well. And on the way to said drink, Magnus is going to tell Oslo everything that they did the past week or so that they were in Yawthorn. The interactions with Daenerys' mom, the visit to the Ember Hides and how it was semi-successful from what he could tell, what Garth Emberhide kind of implored him to do, what they found at the Syndicate Tower. He'll leave a little bit of the stuff with Graves out just to keep their asses, covered. But, like, we met with a third party of sorts, that also charged us with going into the tower, and that's where Beau's daughter was, so we went inside. We fought, the fire primordial, whatever the fuck, the genie, the fire genie, thank you, that. We fought the fire genie, Ardor. We almost died this time, we almost died this time, we almost died this time, Beau died this time, lost an arm, Lothric almost killed us this time. We found ourselves in the Abjure. We like every little fucking bit, and then all the way up to the point of Silas and Lorea and Daenerys' mom, and how Bo got out and Magnus tiny hutted himself and the girls' bodies.
Along the way, upon hearing of Lothric's unintentional betrayal and very much intentional disappearance, you watch Kelsey grow incredibly distant. Saddened and you can tell she's holding back tears. Upon hearing that Rue Daenerys had died, she can't hold it back anymore, and she begins to sob openly in the street. King Oslo continues to walk, not caring that Kelsey is stopped for a second. He seems to be locked in thought, unable to determine what to do next. Bo. Every day, for at least one meal, there is a guard that brings you. And every single day, he asks you, tell me, is Daenerys alright? How is she doing? Over the last 2 days.
I don't know. We went into a very, very grueling place to get my child. I don't know what happened from the moment that I got here.
Okay. I know you said you knew her. And you're very lucky if that's true. I'll be back tomorrow. And on the second day he comes in. You said you needed an audience with Varys.
I do. I don't know what else I can do. Can I be real with you, sir? Is that a guy? Lady?
Yeah,
What?
it's a man.
Okay. Can I be frank with you, sir?
I'm afraid I'm not sure who Frank is.
That's not what I mean. Can I be honest with you, sir?
Well, I sure hope so.
I might need an army. I might need an army. I might need Varys to come with me. I don't expect him to in any damn way. I don't know how I'm gonna get back to the other side of the planet.
Well, firstly, when you speak about him, use Prince Varys.
I apologize.
If you are to meet him, you need to mind your manners. Daenerys has always been a stickler for rules, but she's been willing to bend them. Varys, And he just shakes his head.
I had an inkling of that. One more thing. I know it's already too much to ask to get an audience with the prince. Is that okay? Was me calling him the prince okay?
Yes. The
Okay.
prince's title.
Well, I didn't know if I needed to put his name through. Yeah, never mind.
Well,
He's-
there are multiple princes, but I mean,
Prince Morris.
contextually, this makes sense.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I need help making another arm. I know it's already too much to ask to
So-
have a visitation.
So
with
humans
Prince
do
Morris.
have two arms. Sorry,
Yeah.
I've never seen one before.
You're all right. We're a
I
lot
thought
like
that you were-
Urgent.
I thought that your kid was just kind of a little freak.
Don't call her that, please.
Sorry, I thought that she was a mutant.
I'm in a country full of generics. Okay. That is an insult where I come from. I would like to ask you please not to call my daughter anything like that. Humans are a lot like air genasi, just not blue, and I'm assuming they have powers over the wind.
Humans have powers over the wind?
No, we don't have powers over the wind.
Oh,
That's
I
where,
see.
We're like air genasi. We have all the same parts and stuff, just not like that.
Even the... And he kind of gestures.
Yeah.
I mean, does it ever get in the way?
This is such I feel like I'm misunderstanding what you're talking about, so let's just drop the subject. We're very much like air genasi. We're not black. We're not blue. We'll go with that, okay?
Alright, your name is Bo.
Yes,
I'm a rock. I guess you could say I'm sort of an older brother to Princess Daenerys and Prince Varys.
Well, it's nice to make your acquaintance, but I thought Daenerys only had the one.
Oh, I did say that wrong. I'm not blood related to them, but I've
You're a good
mentored
friend.
them.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyway, the audience with Varys. I can have it happen. Otherwise, you'll be stuck here for about 2 weeks as they delegate and determine if it's even worth their time. The only issue is you have to challenge him.
I'm sorry, what?
In order to have an audience with anyone in the Flipping Isles, especially one of royalty, you have to challenge him to an air duel.
Well, I just said we don't have powers like that.
Oh, I know, but you're not fighting, you're just trying to look good in the air. But it'll get you an audience faster than anything else.
Sir, I don't... Arak, you said?
Arak,
Arak is your
yes.
name? Mr. Arak, I do not have wings. And I don't know a spell that can do that. Can you please find any other way?
Do you think you could fall elegantly?
And die? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, one of our griffins would catch you, I'm sure.
How would they catch me? Because if I'm about to be a snack for a griffin...
It's not gonna
Oh my-
eat you. We'll make
oh my
sure
God,
it's
I'm
well
about to see
fed
a griffin
before.
For the first time. Oh, this is gonna be so awkward. Okay. If the griffin will catch me, and I will not die in any way, get more hurt than I already am. I can't believe I'm saying yes to this. Yeah,
Well,
I'll do it.
If you would prefer not to have a griffin catch you, we could have a hippogriff catch you.
I don't know what a hippogriff is. I barely know what a griffin is.
It's like a griffin, but with pig's hooves instead of talons. And no eagle head face.
Okay. What? Can I get a point of inspiration for that?
Absolutely, you can.
Cool.
Just this obscure look and confusion on your face was really funny.
Okay.
Hey. Alright. Okay. So, a non-winged creature has to look good and better than a creature that knows how to fly.
No,
knows
you
how
don't have
control
to win the duel. If you don't win, there are consequences, but we'll go into that later. But it will give you an audience with Prince Faris.
Look, ma'am. I just kind of became a dad. I can't have things be a maybe instance.
No, this isn't a maybe instance. This is a definite instance.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I can't have speculative things. I need you to be 100% honest with me like I have been with you, even though you don't necessarily have a good reason to believe that.
I don't understand what you mean by speculative. You're not wearing any glasses.
I'm going to scream.
Okay.
Here, Rock. I need you to tell me 100% the truth. I can't have you leaving things out of the conversation.
Well, if I tell you the consequences, you might not do it.
I need to know. What are the consequences?
Sure, you want to know.
Does the kids' ears need to be covered up so they don't hear us?
Oh, no, I'm sure it's fine. Either you swear fealty to him and become sort of a servant, or you have your kidneys picked out by lesser birds.
Oh. Okay, so you're telling me I'm going to become fucking Prometheus? Is that what you're telling me, Cole?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm already the fire guy. You're telling me I'm going to be...
I'm already the fire guy!
Okay, cool. I'm gonna get... Hold on, let me fucking turn on my kitchen light so you can fucking see me. What the fuck?
This is single-handedly the best moment of the entire T-Bows. Like, I fucking love that this is what it's all led up to. Ruin Daenerys dead, Bo losing his mind.
How bad is being a servant to him?
Well, you'd have to do everything he requests of you, lest you lose your honor. And believe me, you don't want to lose that.
I've already kind of lost that multiple times over.
At you saying that, his eyes go wide and he kind of like stumbles backwards and he goes, You regained honor multiple times?
That is a different way to see that. Sure.
And he kind of like drops to one knee and he goes, You must be a legend. A great man. I can see why Daenerys must have favored you.
No.
Tell me, what quests did you go upon? What creatures have you slain to regain such honor?
This is gonna sound insane to you. I've sailed the Spectre Island and back. I've met a god, two, we'll say 1.5 deities, depending on how you look at things. Technically,
2.5.
I was slain some kind of demon on Spectre Island, sailed back, got my kid, and redeemed myself in one way or another. Now I gotta do it again.
You're right, that does sound insane. Maybe you are just crazy.
Well, people keep telling me that, and I'm starting to believe it.
Well, I hope you're not crazy. I will see you later. Little Larea, do you want more time with your father? She kind of like looks at him and looks at you, and she kind of like nods a little bit.
How has she been reacting to, like, me saying that, by the way? Has she been reacting to that at all?
She is 3.
She's just going with it? Okay.
She has no idea what most of those words mean.
Cool.
Yeah, Aaron put it perfectly.
Maybe. Yeah.
Is she in the cell with me now?
Yeah.
Sweet B.
Oh.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I don't know if they have more toys here, but I have this one. And she's playing with the wooden deer that Magnus gave her.
Did the scary man ever give you another one of those? Because I gave the scary man that hurt me and my friends one of those to give to you.
No, he never gave me anything.
No?
The one who was warm like you gave me this one.
He's one of my best friends. So, I don't have my bag on me, do I? There's
No,
nothing-
they've confiscated all your
this
belongings.
Cool. Okay. So I got another one of those toys for you. It looks like a horse. Have you ever seen one of those?
She shakes her head.
No? I've got a horse. His name is Dusty. Dusty Trails. He's one of my best friends too.
What does he look like?
I'm gonna look out the window and see if there are any griffins.
No, but there's a hippogriff.
The hippogriff? Can
Yeah.
there please be a griffin? Just one. Just
Yeah.
one dude fly. Okay. He's gonna point to that. He's gonna say, "It's like that, but without wings."
Yeah, that makes me so happy.
Aaron isn't fucking even listening to this.
Yeah, fuck you, Aaron.
What do you want from me, man?
Did you hear what I just said?
The 2 seconds I wasn't listening. What did you say?
I said I pointed towards a griffin that's flying outside of the cell, and I said it looks like that, but without wings. Yeah, motherfucker. I called it back. Now mute yourself again.
Fine.
It looks like that. No wings. And kind of a long face. They're real friendly if you get to know them.
Do they like to eat?
Yeah. They love apples and carrots and hay.
I like to eat too.
Yeah. Have you eaten today, little one?
She nods.
Good. Good. Did Iraq bring me like a plate? Didn't he bring me a plate of food too?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's mostly fried bugs.
Okay. What are the parts that are not fried bugs? Is there like rice?
Fried bugs.
There's fried bugs and leaves off of like various trees.
Okay. feeding you this kind of stuff too?
She nods.
You've been liking it.
I like the crunchy ones.
Oh,
You like the crunchy ones?
so cute.
He's gonna like kind of squish a couple of them to see which ones are crunchy and not crunchy, and he's just gonna hold them out to her on his left hand. These are for you then.
She takes one and giggles and eats it.
Yeah. I want you to be big and strong, okay? Because you and I have a long distance to travel. I don't know if we're gonna make it quickly.
Okay.
Okay? Here. Bo is going to take off his hammer, like the necklace, if he still has it.
Oh, definitely.
Did the man who was taking care of you before me, not the scary one, the other one, who wore a lot of black, did he ever tell you about the hammer that created the universe?
She shakes her head.
So he takes off the necklace, puts it over her neck, and he starts explaining the myths that his dad taught him.
Oh.
She listens very intently. And while that's happening,
Fuck.
Agnes!
Fuck. No. Come on. Let's go back to the cute child.
You're welcome for the segue, Cole.
Over the next day, about 3 days now, you travel with the king to his chambers in the empty estate in the inner sanctum of Yonwan. Here, Oslo says that you need to immediately pack up, and your party, you three need to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You become targets, and now he's not sure if the Akala is even viable anymore.
Targets. Why targets?
You went into the heart of the organization that's trying to tear us all down.
Fucking great. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Well, it didn't seem like that. There were, what, 100 of them? With a boss.
There was 100 of them that he called failures.
Look at the gods.
There is no possible way that that is the only thing that is waiting for us. And I will be burned alive if that is what... That's not even half of it. That's not even a fucking battalion. Can I reference back to the board that he had with a list of names? Would I have recognized any of the generals' names?
The board that he had with
that Lothric looked at? Silas in his office. Would I have recognized any of the generals' names that would have been Kristoff?
No, you would not have.
Okay. Then I won't reference that. There's no possible way that is all that is waiting for us. And following that, the world is more in danger than it ever was before.
Let me ask you this, Magnus. Is it true that it feels like they're moving at a pace we cannot keep up with? And is it true that if we were to go to the Acola, and even if we were to get the votes for the people of Livliker, it would do nothing?
Then what are we supposed to do? Sit? Let them win? Let everything that me and my friends have done, that everything that me and my friends have died for, be for fucking nothing?
You look at Oslo. Oslo Basilius, the Lionheart, Protectorate of Livliker, King of Livliker, and you look into his eyes, and you see a tired, worn out man. He's been to and through war already. And as the words come out of his mouth, you watch as almost a passion reignites in his eyes. Then I say, we take the bloody fight to their doorstep. Not with a band, not with a group of a measly 5, but the entire Livlikerian army and navy. This has happened under the Emperor's nose. It's happened under all of our noses. Doesn't it seem a little bit coincidental that there has been no issue decreed, no siren or alarm sounded throughout the Empire? I've been thinking about it. And I know I'm not exactly the most intelligent man alive. But the Emperor's rule, Ancoin's rule, Astelborough's rule, has brought nothing but war and suffering to the people of Lenorol for the past 300 years.
Then it seems that you and I finally see eye to eye on something that has been very obvious for a very long time. But do we truly think that if this is bigger than what we know, that one army will do it? That one army will finish off these things, these third Fae, this enemy that is burrowed from underground? Do we really think we can do it alone? Because I've tried that.
Say that, Magnus, and for the first time in a day, you hear Kelsey speak up. Nay, I do not think us alone could do it. However, we're not alone. You said Bose in Arathia. Their princess died by the hands of this enemy.
He doesn't know that yet.
We could tell him. That would give more than probable cause for the armies of Arathia to join us. Not only that, from the stories you've told of Spectre Island, it seems that Livliker was designed to fight those Aarakocrans. If we have the greatest bastion against our only ally,
then you become the strongest enemy. So we simply abandon the Akala.
No. I don't think we do. I think we keep face. Keep up appearances of a want and clueless leader. Show them what they want to see. Desperation. And as we do, we slowly attain everything we can about these dark motherfuckers.
Very well. Before we leave, I have a few things to attend to. Just here in the inner circle. And probably won't take nothing but a night.
Magnus, as you say that, well, as you say that, Tanaris.
Can I also specify that Tanaris and Rue's bodies, if they're in an estate, they've been laid, like, on a bed somewhere. Like, they're no longer in Magnus's bag of holding. They've been, like...
I think it's funnier if they're in your bag of holding.
No, please! They'll suffocate and die! Please! It's not, because that's not how Magnus would do things. Please, Cole. I know it's funny, and I know it's for a bit, but, like... This poor motherfucker.
Daenerys. Your parting words with the Chimera ring through your head. And once again, darkness encircles you. Colors and flashes of light whiz by your head, and you're falling. And as you refocus your eyes, you feel like you can't move. Like you're restrained, like you're tied down. You can't see anything, and you are stuck. But you draw on a breath, and you realize that you're alive.
Can I, like, try to move?
You're wrapped really tightly. Magnus tried to preserve you as best he could, and like
Bird burrito.
you're like mummified right now.
Bird
You're a
burrito.
Bird burrito.
Burrito con pollo.
It's not a chicken.
Burrito con pollo.
So, would Magnus have left all of Daenerys' stuff on her body?
Oh, absolutely. He did not touch a fucking thing, except both of your books are gone. The books that were on Silas, that we got from Silas, both of those are gone.
So, Daenerys has daggers. I don't know where she would keep them.
You also
Probably
have
on her side.
little feetsies
Make
that are
a
sharp.
dexterity saving throw at disadvantage to see if you can if you can grab your daggers while you're mummified. Burrito con pollo.
I got a 14.
You struggle to grab at a dagger, but you can't. And at this point, you're starting to panic.
I'm gonna start screaming. Like,
Oh my god! Could you imagine how terrifying? Just silence in the house, all of a sudden, scream!
So, Magnus, as you and Oslo Basilius and Kelsey Basilius are discussing possible venues of overthrowing.
Oh
the
my
King's
god,
empire,
no.
You hear the loudest screeching from a hawk you have ever heard in your life.
Magnus is gonna dimension door through the floor to whatever room they're in. Like, ready, rip and roaring, ready to go.
Okay, so you
Whoosh! Ah!
and you see
Oh god!
almost like a horror movie. Daenerys' corpse writhing and screaming.
Ah! I'm fucking losing it. Oh, what the hell?
Did I hear Magnus?
You can hear him.
You can hear him scream.
Acting, though.
Get me out! You idiots! Get me out of here!
Teleport into the room, and you see the fucking Daenerys shoot up, writhing in your laps as she screams, "Get me out! Get me
No! What the hell? You're alive. You're alive. Oh my god, you're alive. It's been, oh my god. He's gonna, like, just, I guess, unwrap her. Just fucking grab that sheet, and just roll out.
Daenerys, you definitely do like quadruple cartwheel, like 10, 10, 10 judge cartwheel.
Ta-da! Magnus is going, like, seeing Daenerys that is actually alive, Magnus is going to rush up and give you the biggest, like, while sobbing, the biggest and, like, hardest hug that you've ever received in your life. Like, every hug before this has been, like, a little less withdrawn, but this is full force, like, full everything. And he is sobbing.
Daenerys is going to hug back with one arm, and then the other arm she's like brushing her feathers.
Oh, no.
Her wings.
You,
Oh the gods.
you.
You wrapped me up. Oh my god.
Daenerys, you've been,
And she hugs back.
you were dead, you were dead, you were gone, you were dead. You've been dead for 3 days.
It's quite some time.
How?
I didn't know that.
Sorry, just, oh, that's quite some time.
Quite sometimes. Anyways.
No, that. I was there for that. Well, where the hells are we?
As you say that, Oslo Basilius and Kelsey Basilius barge through the door.
It's fine. I
What?
I don't know. I don't know, I'm freaking out. I don't know.
Oslo rushes over to you.
Iris hugs back. She's like, yes, I've heard I was gone for 3 days.
Oslo will then run over to Rue's corpse and
Yeah.
look for the same signs of life.
And Daenerys looks at Rue. Ah. Oh. Seems that battle didn't go well.
You could say that, yeah.
We don't have much time.
For what?
There's a way we could save her. If our souls were
Daenerys, that's not funny.
No, I'm not joking. There are powers of people of my homeland. We work with the life and death.
You're saying there's a chance that we could save her. You're saying there's a chance that she could come back. And you're not fucking with me. And I swear to God, Daenerys, if you're fucking with me, I will send you back to the grave.
We have to find a tree.
Welcome back, cryptic and fucking mysterious as always. And he's just gonna walk out of the room.
So as Magnus walks out, Oslo and Kelsey are both gonna look at Daenerys, and Oslo's going to say, Do you ever take a break, Daenerys? Do you ever?
Guys, come back. Daenerys is like, I have to go to work today.
Well, if I were to take a break, the best place to do it would be my homeland anyway.
That would take weeks.
And
Months.
Daenerys is going to look through her bag for like her spell book that she has somewhere like underneath everything. He pulls it out.
It's roll a d20 for me.
Okay. A 9.
9. You can't find your spellbook, Daenerys.
Fuck me.
And upon second look, it looks like there's a lot of shredded paper in your bag, along with the spine and binding of your spellbook.
Oh shit.
Well, all the more reason to go home, I suppose. And she'll just like dump the shavings on the ground.
As you dump the shavings on the ground, Feed Buzz's big book of quizzes falls out too. And it looks noticeably bigger.
Oh my god! No!
You're got to be. She rolls her eyes, looks at Oslo, looks at the book. I knew this book would cause nothing but troubles.
Open it.
Right, no, go ahead. I'm done with the questions.
Anyways, she holds up the book and is like, like keeping it closed with her hair straight. So, there's a spell I have. In our circles, call it. What do we call it? It has a different name, but we can transport via large plants. It's a druidic act. Of course, if we were to do it here, we would probably be attacked, but it only opens for a few seconds. And the armies of Arathia would be quick to kill anyone that is unauthorized to come through. Your presence will be interesting. The Arathians have a way of doing things that is not in accordance to most other peoples. But if... Oh. Where the hell's his bow?
So Magnus is gone.
Deuces. Magnus is having another breakdown in the kitchen.
With all due respect, Daenerys, I'm sure your home is a lovely place. I'd rather stay where my feet can be firm on the ground. Also, I believe that bow is already there.
She drops the book off.
The book, and like you hear a soft like, like a burp come from the book.
I love this thing. It's like one of the monster
Daenerys,
books from Harry Potter.
like, grits her beak, like as if it was teeth. He's where?
Well, from the sounds of it, somehow or another that spell you're talking about, I'm assuming, had opened in a mushroom, and Bo walked through, and Magnus believed the only place it could have gone to was Eirathia.
Nurse is like putting clues together in her head.
There's a cork board somewhere, and there's string on it.
I see. Ah, my God's forsaken. Okay. Well, if you ought to stay here, very well. I'll try to convince Magnus to come with me. But I'll go save our beloved horse rider, wingless griffin rider, whatever it is. We can. Anyway, it's not a shock to you. If I told you what happened, it'd be even more shocking. I'm gonna go find a tree.
To be honest, at this point, I don't think I could be shocked by anything that comes out of all of y'all's mouths.
We're just so
Go find a
extraordinary.
tree, Daenerys. Kelsey and I are gonna pack up and get ready to leave, and if you don't come back in 3 days, we'll wage war upon the Empire. Sound good?
Okay. Jesus. We're not doing this. Damn. I don't know. Okay.
That's a lot. You gotta talk with Magnus about it. We kind of already had our own discussion, so it feels like it would be a waste of words to talk about it with you. Not that I don't like you, Daenerys. It's just that the way you have with words confuses the ever-loving shit out of my everything.
My poor little pea brain.
Fine. A war. Okay. I'm gonna go find Magnus, and she walks to the other room towards where Magnus is.
Have fun, Kelsey chimes in.
Magnus is like, I'm assuming the kitchen is like really, really nice if it's an estate kitchen.
Oh yeah, this is this is such a nice fucking kitchen. It's old though, it's dusty.
Yeah, achoo. But achoo. Magnus is like leaning against what I assume in my brain is like a stone countertop or something, and he just like has his hands on his fists, and he's just like, Daenerys is alive. Daenerys is alive. Broom might be alive.
Nurse is gonna approach you, Magnus, and she's just gonna gently put her hand on your back.
He's gonna jump because he thinks he's dreaming still.
Magnus,
Okay.
no,
You believe me? You don't? Holy shit.
can't imagine the perils that you've witnessed.
Sorry.
She'll grab his hand, like gently. By all the old gods, all the new gods, all things that are righteous, holy, all things that are life itself. I promise you that I will do my best to bring her back. I have some news to... I don't really know if it would mean anything to you. I did get to meet the life itself. That when I passed, red magic works differently than I thought. So, we can tie the strings of life and death. We can bring her back. You just have to trust me. Gods, I came back from being dead. So did you, so did Lothric, so did Bo. We can go to another.
Okay. I Ugh. He's gonna wipe away his tears. Before we go, I have something to finish here. I was talking to Oslo and Kelsey about it before. That I'm so sorry. I didn't think, that you were gonna come back. Don't do that again. Please. Please.
Well, I didn't choose to.
Your sarcasm has gotten better. There's a tree out front that we can use. We should leave tonight-ish, I'm guessing. How many more hours of the day are there? Oh, gracious DM.
There are... Oh, I don't know. It would have been... There's probably about 6 hours left in the day.
Okay, thanks, Venom. Yeah. Eddie, I am a DM now.
Let me eat the dice. Let me eat the dice, Eddie. They make a crunch.
Magnus wants to go find those manacles that the Otomatius boys left behind on the Emberhide estate in the Inner Sanctum.
What the fuck did you just say to me?
I want to go get my magic breaking thingies. So during the conversation with Garth, they talked about these magical manacles that the Emberhides, or the Otomatiuses, used to create the anti-magic thing. And they allow you to use magic within the thing. And he said that they were in the, like, quote-unquote, either slaves' quarters or something. Oh!
That's right. I completely fucking forgot about that plot point.
I didn't.
Are you gonna tell Daenerys that's where you're gonna go?
Yeah. Magnus is gonna tell Daenerys, be like, hey, so, while we were at the Emberhides, we talked about this, we touched on it, and I want them, because, technically, Otomatius, so...
Well, they are yours. I have a question.
I have answers, too many answers, yes.
And I don't want you to take this the wrong way. Are you stupid? You want to go back to the Emberhide estate?
Think of it this way. In mineral, in general, any estate that is well-known or powerful has some kind of magical field around it, yes? Right. How much more powerful do you think a person could be if they had something to bypass the dampening of magics, or even create a dampening of magic in an area.
Well, I know one thing. I know the Raytheons have perfected that form of magic probably long ago.
But these bypass that. Technically, depending on how they're used.
I just don't want you to risk your life.
I'm not risking my life. He technically gave me free run of the place.
That was before we learned that they worked with us.
True, but the head of house doesn't know which of his family members is working with the syndicate. If it truly matters that much to you, I will drop it. I'm just saying it could be a useful tool for later on.
Really wanted, by all means, I'm not going to stop you. I just would advise against it. Especially considering we would probably get that kind of magic if you requested it. And we could come back with better resources.
At that,
Yeah, you're right.
Bo.
Yeah.
Bo Iron Belt.
We're about to have a skydiving cowboy, and it is
Do
not
you
gonna go well.
do you propose a challenge to Virus the Rat, Prince Virus the Rathian of the Floating Isle of Real New Will?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Wonderful, says Arak.
Can it please be the whole time that he was imitating his accent? That was really funny.
That is so unbelievably unkind of you to do.
Well, I thought it would make you feel a bit more at home.
This is the furthest thing from home, other than the fact that she's here, and he points towards. Sorry, she's here, and he points at his kid with his left arm.
Oh,
You don't got
You
it.
watch
Right?
as Arak takes a rock out of his pocket and whispers, don't bring them in. It's off. It's off. He doesn't like it. And puts it down.
What the fuck? Don't bring him in.
Friend, can
It's
you
off.
please
Don't
explain
do
to me what you just said into that talk rock?
Talk rock.
No matter. Don't worry.
Talk rock.
I'll go inform Varus of the news.
Okay.
And that's where we're gonna end tonight's session.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, folks. Hey, I hope you liked it. If you did, you know what to do. Bye, stream.
Kiss us on the lips.
Bye, stream.
Yeah,
give us a kiss.
Give us all a big, wet,
Yeah.
sloppy.
Good-
Give
good
us
old
a
smooch.
kiss.
Right on the lips.
Give it a
Mwah.
kiss.
Especially Kate. Especially Kate.
Bye.
No.
Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.